Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. We are officially live, and I am super excited to get started. I see so many of you are here already in the comment section. Before we start, I do want to say there's like a little bit of a delay from what I say to what comes up on my feed in the chat. So if it takes me a second to respond when some of your questions come up, that's why it's just populating into YouTube. So I am very excited to dive in today with all of you, and want to make sure that I am streaming on YouTube because it's not popping up for me. Hold on one sec. That's a long delay that I'm experiencing right now. Oh, okay. There we go. We're good. I don't know what needed to happen. Okay, so I'm going to give you just a few reminders before we start. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Caitlin Mitchell. I am the co-founder and CEO of EB Academics. I'll be hosting our workshop with you guys today. But a couple reminders about what we've got going on this week at EB and what we are doing. So we have a pop-up Facebook group that we are hosting. Type a 1 into the comment section if you are in the Facebook group. Type a 2 if you are not, and you're not in trouble, it's okay. But staff, go ahead and drop that link into the chat section so that you guys can go ahead and request access to join that Facebook group. We're doing a bunch of really awesome giveaways over there, including 2 Hue document cameras and a MacBook Air. So make sure that you are a part of that Facebook group. So drop the link, team, request access, and then come right back over here. But it looks like a lot of you are already in that Facebook group. But if you're not, it's okay. No judgment. You just go request and join access. If you're not able to comment right now, I think you just have to log into your YouTube account in order to comment. So if you're having that issue, you got to log into YouTube and then you can comment. But don't spend a ton of time trying to figure out how to comment if it's distracting you, okay? It's not like the end of the world. But I will say that as you participate throughout the live workshop today, we will be choosing one teacher at the very end to win our brand new EB Teacher Planner. And we will get this sent in the mail to you. It's for the 25-26 school year. And it follows like our whole batch planning approach. We have like a little front section about our batch planning approach, what it means to be an EB teacher. And then the scope and sequence is all at the beginning, and it has like the standards on the side. It just follows our methodology and our philosophy. And my favorite part is it has all of these inspiring quotes at the beginning of each month of the year that just speaks to you. And this is where I'm at right now. If it does not challenge you, it does not change you. I'll tell you that much. Okay, so make sure that you're participating. The staff is going to choose one person who's really participatory in the comments to win that at the end of the workshop. I'm also going to give you our clue word towards the end of the workshop for our MacBook Air scavenger hunt giveaway. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, make sure you join the Facebook group. All of the information is in there. And if you have any questions, please make sure that you save them until the end because I will be answering questions at the very end. Okay, cool. Oh, I'm so glad some of you are here who love your planner and already have it. Fantastic. That's wonderful. Okay, so we are going to get started here. So my name is Caitlin Mitchell. Like I said, I'm a former classroom teacher and I'm the CEO and co-founder of EB Academics. As you guys probably know by now, we help middle school ELA teachers support their students with confidence. And we're also about creating more balance and freedom in teachers' lives. So it's not just about engaging our students, it's also about, ensuring that you love this profession and you enjoy your time as a teacher. And over the past several years, I've had the opportunity to write a book with our co-founder, Jessica. This is our book that we have. It became an Amazon #1 bestseller, which was exciting. I also am the host of our podcast, the Teaching Middle School ELA podcast. I know it's a very original title. Type a 1 if you are a podcast listener. I would love to know. I just love the podcast so much, and I hope that you guys do too. But before starting EB back in, 2014, I spent nearly a decade teaching at the 5th grade level, middle school, and high school levels. I also earned my master's degree in curriculum development and secondary education. And one of my proudest honors was winning the Teacher of the Year award from the LAX Chamber Coastal of Commerce. So that was really cool. These days, I spend my time here leading Team EB. We support our EB teacher community. I'm also on the board of the Principled Entrepreneurship Institute at our local high school, which is really fun for me. And I also raise my sweet 7-year-old son as a single mom. And I have a little doggo over here, sound asleep with me. There's Charlie. Hopefully he doesn't bother us too much for the day, but he's a sweet old man at this point. Okay, so again, make sure that you're in the Facebook group. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna dive into the slides and I'll come back on with my face every so often to answer any questions, but really make sure that You guys have everything that you need as we go through each one of these pillars. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my slides and we should be good to go. All right, here we go, you guys. So let's go ahead and dive in by starting with talking about our mission here at EB. Working with teachers from around the US and around the world really is both a joy and an honor. Doing work with a purpose, that's about as good as it gets. And we know that that's real for you as teachers. And I want you to know that that is very real for me too. When we first founded EB Academics back in 2014, our mission and vision was very simple. And that was to help support teachers in the work that they do in the classroom so that teaching isn't just sustainable, but it's also enjoyable, right? It is a profession with incredible purpose. You are truly changing and impacting students' lives every single day. And if no one has told you that recently, please hear me when I say it. The work that you do matters. Now, this is one of my favorite comments that we've received in our EB teacher community from one of our teachers, Sarah. She shared with us just how much her life has changed in the past year with her days, her nights, and her weekends, not only being stress-free, but about how much her students also love her class, about how her administration continues to come into her classroom to see the lessons that her students are working on and the growth that her students have seen. And the photo that she shared with us of all of these letters from her students are thank you notes to her for teaching them with lessons that they love and that they are interested in. Now, this is the work that you do as a teacher, right? Hopefully you have a lot of these letters yourself as well. You touch the lives of young people every single day. You make a difference. You make an impact. But I know that that's just one side of it, right? I know the flip side of being a teacher too. This job can suck the life out of you, especially if you're struggling with your lessons on a day-to-day basis. What you're teaching, when, why, how are you teaching it? How do you fit in all of the things that you need to cover in ELA with a 42-minute class period, let alone helping all of your students master the standards with all of their different learning needs? And so I've taken what I know about successfully teaching ELA, covering all of the standards in your class period, increasing student learning outcomes, getting them engaged in your lessons, all of that, while also ensuring that you have a life outside of school. And that is what I am sharing with you today. I really want to be able to advocate for you, to be a resource for you, so that you get the support and the resources that you need and quite frankly deserve so that you can be the best teacher that you can be. Because I know a lot of you don't necessarily get that at the schools where you teach. And so I want you to know that I see you and your desire to be the highest version of yourself as a teacher, as a person, right? I see it right here in each of you who decided to show up, to take this workshop with me today, to be engaged in what we're doing. Obviously, you are here learning in the summer about something that is near and dear to your heart. And so I want to thank you for taking the time really to invest in your own professional development. Like that's a big deal. That sets you apart. You're not the average teacher. Okay, so I want to say something bold. There is no way to thrive as a teacher without a clear lesson planning framework. And I really want you to let that land for a second. No framework, no freedom. So even if you think you have a solid system, I still want you to stick with me because what I'm sharing with you today is going to help you fine-tune your lesson planning and your system in such a way that it actually creates results for your students, but also for your own sanity. I know that that overwhelm is real. I hear it every single day. How am I supposed to cover all of the standards and not burn out? How am I supposed to do all of it? Like, forget about just the standards, all of the other things that involved in teaching, right? But that's what this workshop is about. That's why this workshop exists, right? I'm going to walk you through 3 powerful, practical steps that are going to help you cover all of the standards, increase student learning outcomes, and make teaching sustainable for you. But most importantly, I want to help you start thriving again in and out of the classroom. You deserve that. So let's go ahead and get into it. So as I go through these struggles, I'd love for you to let me know if any of these resonate with you by typing a yes into the comment section. And that always just kind of gives me an idea of where we are, who's here in my workshop with me today. So, struggle number one is that you might feel like my current middle school ELA lesson planning strategy feels like a burden. It is overwhelming. And you might be asking yourself, how can I make lesson planning easy so that I can cover everything in an engaging way for my students? How do I do that without sacrificing all of my nights and all of my weekends? Or maybe you're a newer teacher and you feel like throwing in the towel already because you're saying to yourself, I don't know what to do. How am I supposed to teach everything? Right? I just want to feel confident in my lessons each day. I totally remember feeling that way my first year teaching. It was brutal. It was very, very hard. Or maybe you're on the opposite end of that spectrum. Maybe you're identifying with struggle number three, and that is that you're a veteran teacher, you're feeling burnt out, you're feeling frustrated, and you're like, I just want something fresh. I want something engaging that's going to help me cover all the standards, but I don't want it to take me a ton of time, especially at this time in my teaching career. So I would love for you to type into the comment section which one of those resonates with you the most. Go ahead and type in number one, number two, or number three as to why you have shown up here today. Now, whatever your motivation for showing up here today, I want you to know that I fully support you. Our entire team does, who's here in the comment section with you. We wholeheartedly believe in the power of what I'm going to teach you today. It quite frankly will transform the way that you teach English, the way that you look at lesson planning, and that sense of work-life balance for you. Because covering all of the ELA standards, increasing student learning outcomes, engaging your students in their learning, and leaving school when the bell rings, while it feels like a pipe dream, it is entirely possible. And my job today is to move you from feeling incredibly stressed out with teaching and fitting it all in, where it just feels like there's absolutely no time to do it all, to feeling the opposite. I want you to leave here today feeling confident, prepared, excited, inspired to step into your classroom every single day. I'm going to teach you exactly what to do. I'm going to offer you the tools to make that happen. These are all strategies and tools that I know work. They are tools that I've used in the classroom. They are tools that have been used with literally thousands of teachers around the world over the last 11 years. And they are tools that are not going to take you a lifetime to figure out. They are tools that will transform your teaching life in a matter of weeks or months. This is not a years-long thing. And I really mean that. I have proof, I have stories, and I will share all of that during our workshop. And I'm really excited and I cannot wait to dive in. But I do want to point out that later in this workshop, I will be giving you our EB Batch Planning Kit. This is a set of powerful tools designed to help you finally get ahead with your lesson planning. It's going to help you implement everything that I teach. So you get our standards checklist to help you track what you're teaching and when, so you can ensure full coverage and you can use real data to guide instruction. You're also going to get our rinse and repeat activities guide that you can use with any fiction or nonfiction text. These are rigorous, engaging, and ready to plug into your units all year long. You will also get our EB Digital Planner. I love this planner. It is complete with hundreds of custom stickers, perfect for organizing your plans in a fun, visual, and efficient way. And then last but not least, you get a bonus guide. This is our 10 tips to getting started with batch planning. And this is really your step-by-step roadmap to planning out weeks at a time, creating structure, and reclaiming your weekends. So make sure you stay through with me to the Q&A at the end, and all of that is yours for free. Plus, you will get a certificate of completion for your teaching file. Now, before we wrap up today, I'm also going to share with you how you can go deeper inside the EB Teachers ELA portal. This is our monthly membership for middle school ELA teachers that'll give you access to all kinds of things that I'll share about later, but you'll also unlock our brand new batch planning course. This is our signature step-by-step system that helps you plan with clarity, increase student outcomes, and actually leave school when the bell rings. So before we dive in, I want to share a quick story about how I went from a frazzled, overwhelmed teacher, struggling to fit it all in, this is me in the classroom, to feeling confident, prepared, and genuinely excited to teach every single day. So in my early years, I was full of passion, but I felt like teaching ELA was this impossible puzzle. You've got reading, writing, grammar, vocabulary, so many standards, not enough time. And every day I found myself asking, how am I supposed to fit this all in? Right? And not just fit it in, but how do I make it engaging? How do I make it rigorous and meaningful for my students? And I started to doubt myself. I wondered if I ever could do it well. And I know many of you have felt that same way. But eventually I hit a breaking point and I was like, look, I am tired of surviving the day. Like, I'm tired of just living in survival mode. And I knew that something needed to change. So I came up with a plan to save my sanity, to get my free time back, and still deliver amazing lessons that covered everything. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. So to turn things around, I knew I needed a system, one that was going to help me do all of the things I wanted to do without taking over my life. And it worked. And I'm going to share those 3 key strategies behind that system. These are all strategies that we now teach inside of our EB Teachers ELA portal, inside of our membership. But I want to show you what changed for me, because I want you to see what can change for you and will change for you if you implement what I teach. So as I say these successes that I experienced, I want you to envision yourself experiencing them too. Write a yes into the comment section. I can see that for myself, so that you can future pace yourself too. So success number 1 was I covered all of the standards and I still left school when the bell rang. Like, that actually happened. I walked into class, I was energized, I was excited with lessons that my students were excited about, and my students were clearly mastering the standards and loving the process. Like, kids loved my class. They loved English. Even those students who said, I hate English, I don't want to be here, ended up loving English, and it became their favorite class. And the best success of all, right, is I was finally able to watch a movie on the weekend without even thinking about school. You know what I'm talking about, where you have your plan book half open, you're looking at a grammar unit, you're scrolling through TikTok, looking for lessons for the week. No, like, none of that happens anymore. And when you experience those successes, it gives you a profound sense of freedom. Freedom from teaching being all encompassing of your life. And that's exactly what I want for you. And that's what I'm going to teach you today in order to get you there. So I am all about visualization. It works. Professional athletes use it all the time. And so I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and allow you the opportunity to visualize what you want your life to look like. So I want you to close your eyes and picture this vision for yourself. Can you imagine what it would feel like to just rock your lesson planning approach? Like, you're just the Steph Curry of lesson planning, and it gives you back hundreds of hours of your time. You're not working on the weekends. You don't have to work at night anymore. Your students are mastering the standards as you cover everything that you need to teach. Like, what does that look like for you in your life? How are you showing up in the classroom? What does Mrs. Mitchell look like walking into the classroom? Well rested, excited. Students are happy to be there. Life is good. You are thriving. You are not surviving. And even if you don't see that for yourself, I want you to pretend that you do, so that you can start to retrain your brain. Neuroplasticity is a thing. So that you can start to retrain your brain into the process of what's possible. And so I'd love for you to write a yes, I can see that for myself into the comment section, or a big just yes, all capitals, exclamation marks, because you are future pacing yourself for a different future by visualizing your future now, because your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. So if you imagine this now, you are visualizing your future for yourself. And I want you to ask yourself this question, well, why does this matter? Why do you think having a lesson planning approach matters? Why does this matter? And you can type that into the comment section if you'd like to. Because I truly believe that what actually motivates change is not in just recognizing that something isn't working, right? We do have to recognize that first in order to even create change. But the next step to that is seeing the possibility that change can bring. So we have to answer this question. How will things be better for you? How will things be better for your students? How will things be better for your life if you finally invest in a lesson planning approach? And go ahead and type into the comment section, why do you think a clear lesson planning approach matters? Why does it matter? Why can't you just go about your business the way that you always have? At EB, you'll hear me say over and over again, if nothing changes, nothing changes. You can sit here and learn all day long, but if you don't implement the things that I teach you, nothing's going to change. Everything will just stay the same. Because I truly believe, and we believe this here at EB wholeheartedly, that learning how to effectively and efficiently plan engaging and rigorous lessons that cover all of the ELA standards will be the turning point for you in order for you to succeed as a teacher and get your students to master the standards and give you your nights and your weekends back. Effective lesson planning is the cornerstone of a successful and less stressful school year. Because if you've effectively planned, you can effectively make changes. You can effectively show up in other ways. You can sleep well at night. A well-rested teacher is a different type of teacher than one who doesn't sleep well at night, who's stressed out, who's overwhelmed, who has too much on their plate. Lesson planning is one thing that we have control over. It's one thing that we can build a system around to protect us from the larger system of education. So we're about to dive into the strategies, but I want you to keep one very important thing in mind. The 3 strategies that we're going to cover are all about one thing, and it is all about taking action. Even if just one action, you must do something different. If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten. Something has to change. So think about that and the power that doing something differently actually brings into our lives. So now that I've told you why it matters, and quite frankly, I think that's the most important part, because I could teach you strategies all day long, but you won't implement them unless you have a why behind why we're doing what we're doing, right? Just like our students. We could teach our students narrative writing all day long, but unless they have a reason for wanting to do it, they don't care, right? So the why is the most important thing. Everything that we just talked about, that's the most important thing. The strategies I'm going to give you, great, but you have to know the why and the meaning behind it in order to actually take it and implement it and see changes in your life. So what does this actually look like to have a clear lesson planning approach? Well, there are 3 pillars that provide a foundation for this, and I'm going to give you an overview of them, and then we'll dive into each one separately. So the first pillar is the lesson planning framework itself. This will be the longer part of our workshop. The second one is utilizing skills-based passages to guide and drive instruction. This one's good, and I'm excited to share this one with you guys. And then the third one is something that we don't do a ton in ELA, but is extremely important, and that is spiral review. So let's start with the foundation, and that is a planning framework that actually works. At EB, we use something called the Into, Through, and Beyond approach alongside our batch planning framework, and that brings structure and clarity to your lessons. Because without a framework, you're constantly scrambling, and that is exhausting. So one of the most important questions is, how do I make sure that I'm hitting the standards within the time that I actually have? So whether you teach 40, 60, or 90-minute blocks, having a clear structure lets you confidently map out where and when you are addressing each standard. So in this section, I'm going to show you exactly how to sketch out your day based on your class period length, and then how to use the Into, Through, and Beyond to make sure that your planning is efficient, intentional, but most importantly, standards aligned. So I want to talk about why a planning framework matters. Can't you just wing it? Well, sure, but that's what leads to burnout and chaos. A framework makes planning feel like plug and play. Just like we teach students to write using clear structures, we really need to do the same thing for ourselves, right? It gives us guidance and flexibility and space to add our own kind of creative flair. So I'm going to walk you through the basics of our EB lesson planning framework. And this is the same one that I teach inside of our planning course inside of the EB Teachers ELA portal, which is our membership. And it's also what we talk about in our book, The Empowered ELA Teacher. So a plan gives you confidence on the days when you need it most. You are going to know exactly what you're doing in your classroom, when you're doing it, and most importantly, why you're doing it. Not just because you saw something cool on TikTok or Instagram or TPT, but because you use the standards as your North Star to guide you in your decision making. And what I love about having a plan is that it allows you to be patient in building skills because you are being intentional. And it also gives students plenty of time to practice skills by doing engaging lessons and really participating in their learning, and not passive learning through worksheets or something like that because it was planned last minute, right? When you have a plan in place beforehand, you are not scrambling to fill in lessons. And when we are scrambling, whether we like to admit it or not, oftentimes we will resort to doing something that's maybe subpar, that's maybe a C. It's a mediocre worksheet activity that doesn't engage our students or doesn't get them really truly mastering those standards and skills. So your strategic plan for using a planning framework is going to fall into these steps. So the first thing that you're going to do is use a year-long scope and sequence to schedule in your units. Then we will use the standards as our guide with our standards checklist, which I'm going to be talking about here shortly. That's a part of that free batch planning kit that you're going to get. And then we will create our into, through, and beyond lessons for your units. Now, everything that I'm talking to you about in these next couple of slides, I'm giving you as much as I can in a limited period of time, right? In my planning course inside of our membership, I go way more in depth with this. And also, we host live events called Batch Planning Live, where we plan together. I'm giving you as much information as I can in the period of time that we have. But there is a lot to be learned that goes into this. But what I want to share with you, and things that you're going to take away today that are going to be hugely helpful, if there's anything else that you take from today's workshop, it's this: that the key to success here is batch planning your lessons outside of the school year. So instead of scrambling just week to week and it's just brutal, you are going to map out your units during 1 or 2 focused planning days while you are off of school. Think summer break or winter break or spring break. During one of those days, you will plan everything from the start of the year to your first fall break or winter break or whatever that is. And you will repeat that process throughout the school year. And like I said, this is exactly what our EB teachers do. We even host a live 2-day batch planning event. We include that full batch planning course inside of our membership to walk you through exactly how to do this. And this year, actually, for the first time ever, I'm hosting a special 1-day batch planning event on June 30th. So you could, in theory, plan right now at the beginning of summer, and guess what? Unplug for the next 2 months. Doesn't that sound amazing? I mean, that sounds kind of amazing, right? And what's really neat about this is that you will begin to only make small tweaks here and there to your lessons throughout the school year. So there's no more staying up until 10 o'clock at night when you are exhausted trying to put something together for the next day. It is already done for you because you batch lesson planned up front. So your future you is going to look back and thank your past you and be like, thank you, past Caitlin, for doing that for me, right? It gives you your afternoons back. You can rest, reset, read a book. I mean, just do whatever the errands that you need to do, right? Clean up your house, whatever it is that always gets put to the back burner because time and again, teaching always seems to come first. And this is the way that we can actually take control of our teaching lives so that it doesn't impede on our entire lives outside of the classroom, right? So what I want to show you now is what a daily breakdown might look like depending on the length of your class period. So here you'll see that we are making true use of our class time to include bell ringers each day. You are being intentional with that class time. We want to make sure that we are doing that with our students. When you see the into, through, or beyond lessons mentioned here, that's what I'm going to go to in just a moment, but those are your main units. And then you have a framework that ends with DEAR or sustained silent reading or whatever it might be. But what this does for you, and you can take a screenshot of this if you want to, what this does for you is you have a framework now for your daily breakdown. So you know how to plan for every single day. You follow the same format every day. So both you and your students know exactly what to expect. So you'll see, again, another framework, right? Well, what does this look like on a larger scale? Well, we're going to have a framework for our scope and sequence. So when we look at this month-long example, this is for like a 60-minute class period, okay? And don't get overwhelmed by this, but what I want you to pay attention to is how I've structured this, okay? How I have created a cadence for myself. So what I want you to notice is that I have vocabulary every Monday. And then I have a vocabulary test every other Friday. Then I also only teach grammar Wednesday, Thursday of every other week. I teach my narrative writing unit alongside my House on Mango Street unit. So I have like this cadence that I've created so that I always follow that same framework. So I know it's Wednesday, I'm teaching grammar. I know it's Friday, I might have a vocabulary test depending on which Friday it is, right? And so this makes it a heck of a lot easier for you to plan because you have, again, another framework within a framework. And so there's a lot of nuance to this, right? And you might be like, there's no way I could teach all of that. 100%. It's going to depend on your specific case. And that's why we have an entire course inside of our membership. And that's why we do our batch planning live days. But this just gives you an idea. This is what you just kind of start to think about in your mind. Like, what might this look like for you? Because once you have that super clear structure for your scope and sequence and like your larger monthly plans, you're not pulling your hair trying to figure out how to fit everything in because you already have a cadence for yourself. So once your framework is set, this is when you grab your standards checklist. And that's again in your free batch planning kit that you get at the end of the workshop when you stay to the Q&A. And it's also on your screen, you can see it there. But you use it as you plan each unit, and this helps you stay aligned to the standards that you've covered. Because what it does is it tracks what you've taught, when you've taught it, and how your students performed. So this allows you to make smart adjustments and to fill any gaps. So you might notice, oh my gosh, I never teach that one standard. No wonder my students don't get it, right? It's not on my plans. I never teach it to them. And this is one of the more valuable planning tools that we offer. So make sure that you stay until the end to grab that. Okay, so we've talked about the scope and sequence, creating a framework for yourself. We talked about the standards checklist. Now I want to talk about these into, through, and beyond lessons. And this, again, another framework. Frameworks equal freedom. The beauty of this framework is that it allows students the opportunity to practice the standards multiple times. And this is simply a way to organize your lessons, okay? So what you'll do is you will create an into, a through, beyond lesson for every unit that you teach. And I'm going to show you the into, through, and beyond lessons that we came up with for a specific writing standard 6.4. And that is to produce clear and coherent writing in which the development, organization, and style are appropriate to task, purpose, and audience. So this is from one of our poetry resources inside of our membership. You can actually see it on the screen there. But I pulled this out so you can see it in practice, what this actually looks like. So let's start with an into lesson. The purpose of the into lesson is really to get your students interested and excited in the standard and the content that you are about to be teaching to them. So a perfect example of an into lesson is something like a popcorn predictions activity or a 5-word wonder activity. And those will all be included for you in the rinse and repeat activities that that you'll get at the end when you stay to the Q&A. And the into lesson for our poetry unit, students pair up and they use paint chips, as you can see on your screen, with names like Sunkissed or Want to Mint to write poems about different types of love. So it's playful, it's creative, it's super engaging, but they're still hitting that standard, writing standard 6.4 in a meaningful academic way. Now, through lessons are meant to help your students comprehend and really explore the standard in depth. And this is where your rigor starts to come into your lesson. You want to think of your lessons, your through lessons rather, as the heart and the meat of your unit. This is where you're reading the text, you're searching for evidence, you're analyzing, you're discussing, etc. And the rinse and repeat activities guide, you'll find things in there for this like a Socratic seminar or character connections activities or whatever it might be. Those are going to be the types of activities that you will use to go into depth with your students with these standards. So the through lesson for our example that I'm sharing, in this through lesson, students analyze poetry. So they analyze a poem. They then write their own love poem, and they also write an evidence-based response. So they're using textual evidence. And so they're still practicing that writing standard, even though the task has shifted. And in fact, they're hitting tons of other standards with this as well. So the Beyond lesson is the last type of lesson in this framework, and this is an opportunity to expand and deepen students' learning. This is typically like 1 to 2 days, depending on the activity. Now, this could be a graphic essay, an in-class response to literature, a one-pager, a music video project, something that lets your students show what they know. So you've hooked them, right, with an into lesson. You've deepened the skill with a through, and then you've wrapped it up with the beyond. And then you repeat that same structure for your next unit. So going back to our poetry example for writing standard 6.4, students write found love poems. They analyze a classmate's poem and they write a response identifying the type of love that was portrayed. So it's a fresh, engaging task, yet it still reinforces that purposeful writing aligned to the standard. So the beauty of the Into, Through, and Beyond framework is that it saves you time and it ensures that you're covering the standards with intention. And once it's in place, you're really just rinsing and repeating, right? You have an Into lesson to hook your students, you have Through lessons to build their knowledge, and you have Beyond lessons where they show you what they know and they actually apply what they've learned. So this gives you clarity, consistency, simplicity. All you have to do is ask yourself, do I have an engaging, rigorous lesson for each part of this framework? And if the answer is yes, you're good to go. Okay, so as always, I'm going to give you an action item. I want you to start thinking about, you can share this in the comment section too. I want you to start thinking about and mapping out a daily framework or a monthly framework or both for yourself, depending on the length of your class period. And this will set you up for success because you're really just going to be plugging and playing using the Into, Through, and Beyond approach inside of our EB lesson planning approach. And again, you get those rinse and repeat activities at the Q&A at the end, which is going to make this so much easier for you. Okay, so really fast, I just want to come back on live because I see some questions in the comment section. I see questions that are related to what I'm teaching and also questions about our membership and things along those lines and like our June 30th event. All of that stuff, I'll answer a bunch of those questions at the end. But the thing that I want you to take away from this, like most importantly, is that you're creating this monthly and weekly framework for yourself. And we'll say it over and over again, like frameworks equal freedom. These are the things that are going to make it so much easier for you to really stay on target, on task, right? And not get distracted by all of the other things that we have going on in life. And we know this, like human nature is when we have structure, we thrive. Like my son really struggles with some behavior issues. And one of the main things that the child psychologist that my ex-husband and I are working with to help us with Will is that he has to have structure. Like he brushes his teeth at 7:20 and it's not a discussion. Like this is just what we do. And so if you guys have that same thing for yourself and for your brain, and we talked about this in our bonus training in the pop-up Facebook group, is like we're not making other decisions. These are decisions that we're removing from our brains that we don't have to think about. It's why Steve Jobs wore the same thing every single day, right? So that he didn't have to think about what he was wearing. It sounds like something so simple, but if we're removing those types of tasks from our mind, it frees up a lot more white space, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. And again, if you have like specific questions, I'm going to do a whole Q&A at the end. So try to just stay focused on what I'm teaching. I always tell my students, write it on a Post-it note and we'll come back to it so you don't forget your question. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and go back to my slides and we'll get to pillar number 2. Okay. So once your unit is planned and you're in the middle of teaching it, well, how do you know that it's working? That's where these quick targeted passages come in. We're talking about skills-based passages. These are formative assessments that inform your planning. They're your mid-unit checkpoint and they make planning even smarter. So let's talk about this strategy that gives you clarity on what to reteach before the unit test. And it doesn't add more to your grading plate. Like we don't want to do that. So pillar number 2 is these short skills-based passages used as formative assessments. So I'm showing you an example on your screen that's from our membership. You can see just how short the text is, and it's 5 questions. but it's focused on the specific skill that we are wanting our students to master. So this gives you that real-time insight into how your students are doing with a single skill. And this allows you to plan smarter and actually help them master those standards. And what I love about this is that most teachers don't realize that students haven't mastered a skill until it's far too late. It's usually when they're staring at a disappointing test right at the end of a unit. But imagine if you had a quick, low prep way to check in on a specific skill mid-unit. And that's exactly what skills-based passages let you do. They're short, they're aligned to one standard, they tell you exactly what's working, and more importantly, what's not working. So let me show you what this looks like in action. Here's how our EB teachers use these passages to drive instruction without spending hours just analyzing data. So number one is you want to pick one standard that you're currently teaching. Then you will give a short skills-based passage that's tied to that skill. You'll use it as a mid-unit to check comprehension. You'll look for trends in your student answers, and then you will adjust your next week's spiral review or mini lesson based on those results. So here's a real example from our portal. The 8th grade passage focuses entirely on author's purpose and point of view. It's nonfiction, it's high interest, and it's aligned to Reading for Informational Text 8.6. So you could use something like this in class tomorrow. I know it's summertime, but tomorrow, right? Give it to students as a warm-up. You give it to them as an exit ticket or a bell ringer. It only takes like 10, maybe 15 minutes max, and gives you immediate insight into who's got it and who needs more support. So here's the power of using passages like this mid-unit. If 70% of your class misses the question about how point of view shapes meaning, you now know exactly what to spiral into next week's bell ringers, which we'll talk about in just a moment, or exactly what you need to reteach in small group. And that right there, that is what moves students from just exposure to really starting to get it, to mastery. Now, I want to be super clear. This is not about adding more tests at all. These are short diagnostic tools that you can use during instruction to inform what comes next. They're quick, they're focused, they're effective. And quite frankly, you don't even need to put them into the gradebook. And so here is where it connects now into your planning. So if you remember from pillar number 1, your framework of the Into, Through, and Beyond lessons, you can use these skills-based passages during your through lessons to assess how students are doing mid-unit. You can see that right on the screen, right? You see it right here on the screen. And then you let that data drive your reteaching days, and this is planning that responds to your actual students' needs. And I love it so much, and it is so helpful. So I want to give you action. As always, take action now. I want you to choose one standard your students will be working on and plan to give a short skills-based passage on that skill. Use it to check for mastery, make small adjustment, and see the impact almost immediately. So I want you to write what standard or skill that you would want to use this on with your students. Like maybe it's that one skill or that one standard that you know, oh my gosh, they always struggle with this. So this is small shifts, right? This is a small shift, but it gives you big results for your students. So I want to come back on, and that's exactly Maria. I'm looking down at my phone. I'm not like doing something weird, but Maria, that's exactly what so many people say. And citing evidence, Monique, that's what a lot of our teachers are noticing, is that that's the thing that we need to come back to time and time again, making inferences too, or theme and main idea. And so the thing is like when we know that, and our whole goal for this unit is to be focused on main idea, before we even get to the end, or before we even get to the task or the assessment that we are going to put in our grade book, or that we're going to use to, tell us whether or not our students are ready to move on, we utilize a formative assessment like this to kind of get a hold on it. Okay, well, which group of students are still really struggling? Am I going to put them in a separate group? Am I going to use, we have a bunch of like reteaching student facing videos inside of our membership that are skills based. So if you have a small group of students who are struggling with main idea, well, we're going to teach them through this video, and we're going to support this group of students. We're going to give them extra activity perhaps that's focused on a skill, and then we're going to move on with the rest of the class as well. So I think it's just really helpful to continue to use these types of skills-based passages to drive our instruction. That way we don't get to the end and we're like, oh crap, my students don't know this and I've got to move on, right? And I can't spend any more time here. We don't ever find ourselves in that position, right? We are preempting any sort of problem that we're going to face by using these skills-based passages. And again, I know some people are asking questions about grading and things like that. This is just checking. I mean, you could put them in your grade book if you wanted to, but it's really not for that purpose. It's really more to drive your instruction than anything and ensure that you are adapting to your students' specific needs. So hopefully that's helpful. And again, like I said last time when I came on with my face, you guys can save your questions till the end. Some of them are fabulous questions and I definitely want to answer them, but I also want to be cognizant of time. So let's stay and wait for those questions for the Q&A at the end. Okay. All right, let's go back into my slides and we'll get to pillar number 3. All right, moving into pillar number 3. This is spiral review. So this is where we're going to reinforce skills intentionally based on what students need most. So after you've planned your unit, you've assessed where your students are midway through, well, the next question becomes, how do I make sure that they retain what they've learned? And that is where spiral review comes in. And this is all about revisiting standards again and again and again and again and again so that students have multiple chances to practice and eventually master them. So it's just like basketball, right? You wouldn't practice dribbling once in October and expect your team to perform in the championship game in February. That just doesn't work. And the same thing goes for ELA, right? One and done just doesn't cut it. So students need ongoing intentional review to keep skills fresh all year long. So instead of cramming a standard once and forgetting about it, what we do instead is we revisit skills across the year in short, consistent bursts. So let's say that your skills-based passage assessment that you gave your students revealed that students are still struggling with author's point of view. Well, that's your signal. Now you know exactly what to spiral back into next week. And one of the easiest, most effective places to do that is in your bell ringers, like we talked about in our planning in pillar number 1. So those first few minutes of class are often chaotic. Students are settling in, you're taking attendance. A lot of the times, valuable class time can slip away. But what if you could turn that into a powerful review opportunity? That's what bell ringers do. Bell ringers help eliminate wasted time and they give students regular low pressure practice with skills that they've already learned, such as author's point of view, that standard that they missed on the passage. So just 5 minutes a day can add up to hours of targeted spiral review time over the course of the year. And your students, they just get sharper each time they're given the opportunity to touch on these skills and these standards. And spiral review, this doesn't have to just be limited to daily bell ringers. You can also build this into your long-term plan. Like you can pencil in a fun spiral review game a couple of weeks after your narrative unit wraps up to review leads with them or something like that. It is a great way to revisit key skills in other like units that you've taught, okay? So I want to show you what this looks like in action specifically for narrative writing. So let's say at the beginning of August, we teach our core narrative writing unit. It's 3 weeks. That's what we're focused on. Well, then in October, I want to review this concept with them. So I'm going to do a writing review game called Mashed Up Stories. This is just one of our resources inside of our membership. Well, then in November, I might spiral review leads. December, I'm going to come back to endings. January, I'm going to work on a short story bundle that I have. I'll come back to dialogue in February, and so on and so forth. And you can kind of start to see how that unfolds right throughout the year. And you can take a screenshot of this if you'd like to. And what I love about it is it's like I'm not just teaching narrative writing in August and then that's it. My students see it multiple times throughout the year. And this is why our planning framework works so well. You're not just done with a unit. You are designing review on purpose. And that is how students master the standards. So again, I'm going to give you that 12 rinse and repeat activities guide to help you spiral. So you'll see on your screen all of the different types of activities that are included that fall into our framework of the into, the through, and the beyond. So again, I'll give that to you when we get to the Q&A here shortly. All right, here comes your action item, because real change starts with action. You'll hear me say that all the time. I want you to write down one spiral review activity that you could use for a key concept when you head back to school. And if you're feeling bold, maybe you make a promise to yourself that, hey, this is the year that I get to use bell ringers intentionally to keep skills fresh all year long. Okay, so I'm going to come back and talk to you guys too again, because I'm just going to comment on some of your comments. I'm going to comment on some of your comments. What I think is important with this one, that if you're not walking away with anything else, it's number one, and I've preached this for years, is that bell ringers are such a great classroom management tool, right? There are those first 5 minutes, 10 minutes of class that can be absolutely chaotic, and students need something to do. So my students always had a bell ringer to come into class. However, what I would see happening a lot with a lot of the teachers that I would work with and teachers that I would observe is it's like we were using bell ringers just as filler, which is fine, because, we're all learning, we're all trying to get better. And also, what if we were utilizing bell ringers to actually help us with this concept that students struggle with? And it didn't click for me until I taught 5th grade math, because I taught high school English and then I taught middle school English. And then when I went to teach 5th grade math, it was like we were constantly coming back to multiplication and adding and subtracting, right? Basic things. And I'm like, why am I not doing this in ELA? Why am I not constantly coming back to these skills with just this simple bell ringer that I have time for in my class? And so our bell ringers that are a part of our membership, they have, all of the standards. So you can use them as you see fit and kind of move them around throughout the year based on the gaps for your students. And one of the other things that I wanted to say, because I noticed some comments come up about this too, is with our skills-based passages, the way that we have it set up, and I know this is going back to pillar number 2, but I think it's important, is that we really isolate the skill. So we're just focusing on one skill in that one passage. We're not looking at 3 or 4 different skills. So then it's I really know this particular skill of making inferences, my students just do not get. Or I know this one particular skill of, main idea, my students totally have got that down. And so that is really helpful for me for ensuring that I'm not spiral reviewing content that maybe my students are like, bro, Miss Mitchell, I'm over talking about textual evidence. I understand this at this point, or whatever it might be. So I do think that those 2 nuances are incredibly important just to note, just that I want to share. Okay, I'm going to go back to my slides. So this system works because it isn't one-off ideas, right? It's a repeatable strategy. You're planning, assessing, and reinforcing with intention all year long. And we have the tools at EB to help make that happen. And so after hearing these 3 pillars that I've shared with you, do you think that you can implement one or more of these into your own planning? Go ahead and type a yes into the comment section. I can see that, or how many of them you're going to use, whatever it might be. I want to see you guys type that into the chat. And as you do that, I want to show you some of the results that our EB teachers are seeing when they use these 3 pillars for their planning. So it's not just a Caitlin thing, right? This is Shanda, and she was able to plan from January through until spring break. And I love what she says right here in her post, batch planning works. And that's because it does. It's the thing that makes the difference. This is from Mary. She shared that she was able to enjoy a relaxed Saturday night because she batch planned weeks ago. No scrambling, no stress, and her students are learning more and having fun. This right here, that is the power of planning with intention. Now, I want to call out the skills-based passages from Sarah, one of our EB teachers. She shared that she's been using the skills-based passages twice a week for bell work, and her student scores are going up. She said she loves the rigor, the variety, and how easily they fit into her classroom routine. And then Jessica's 5th graders were fired up for our Escape from Alcatraz unit, especially the escape room activity. And this is a great example of how using the EB planning framework leads to both high engagement and rigorous learning We can't do this type of stuff in the classroom when we are scrambling last minute. It just doesn't exist. And so I've got a question for you. Would you like us at EB to provide you with the exact rigorous and engaging lessons that you need to thrive instead of survive as a teacher, to help you cover all of the ELA standards and help your students master the standards? And if you do, I want you to type a 1 or a yes into the comment section, because that is exactly what we do for thousands of other teachers just like you inside of our EB Teachers ELA portal. Now, I'm not exactly sure why you showed up today. It could be that you are feeling frustrated, that you're drowning in lesson planning and you don't have the time to create those engaging lessons that help your students master the standards. Or maybe you just feel stuck. Maybe you're confident in your skills as a middle school ELA teacher. You're like, I'm great, but I feel a little stuck. Maybe you are ready to breathe new life, new energy, new engagement into your ELA curriculum. Or maybe you're just wondering if there might be a better way, right? Maybe you're just curious. Perhaps there's a way for you to feel like you have control over teaching, where you're actually confident, you're prepared, and you're excited to teach every single day. Whatever the reason, there was something that brought you here today, and I truly don't believe that that was an accident, because here's what I know to be true. You want your students to succeed. You want your students to thrive no matter what, and you also want to thrive. And so it's time for you to decide what kind of a future you want to commit to. Do you want to commit to one that is stuck in the old way of doing things, drowning in lesson planning and prep, the overwhelm and the stress that comes from trying to make sure that we cover all of the right standards in all of the right ways, all while being engaging and fun for your students, one that will leave you burnt out and ready to quit? Or do you want to commit to a new way of doing things, a way that allows you time to sit down, enjoy a book for pleasure, watch as many episodes of Below Deck? If you're like me, that is literally like the only show that I watch. Or Ted Lasso, I like that show too. All the shows you want, whatever it is that you binge watch. I've been binge watching Is It Cake with my son. He is obsessed with it. It's the cutest show ever. All while being an amazing teacher, one that is making a difference in your students' lives every single day, one that has the confidence to walk into your classroom knowing that your lessons are just crushing it. And at this point right now, you have two choices. Choice number 1 is you keep doing what you're doing. And that's fine, but you'll still always be lesson planning all year long. You will be in the same exact place a month from now, 4 months from now, feeling like you're drowning, completely stressed and overwhelmed. You'll have to continuously be coming up with lesson plans and strategies for your classroom, which is going to take you hours upon hours, or you'll spend hours searching and hoping to find something else online that works for you. Because remember, if nothing changes, nothing changes. Or you go with choice number 2. And if you go with choice number 2, type in choice number 2 into the chat section. And that is you 100% commit to allowing us to support you. Let us do all of the hard work and heavy lifting when it comes to planning, engaging, and rigorous lessons so that you don't have to, right? We have a team of 14 amazing curriculum writers. Let us be your guide through your teaching journey. Let us provide you with the tools and the resources and the lessons and the strategies and the inspiration and the motivation and the support, everything that you need so you can see huge successes for your students as they master the ELA standards, and also so you can finally get your nights and weekends back. Obviously, as many of you are saying, you want to go with the choice that will save you so much of your time, that will remove the frustration and provide you and your students with a clear roadmap to success. Now, remember that nothing that I've shared here today with you is theory or fluff that might work. This is exactly what thousands of teachers inside of our EB Teachers ELA portal have done to get back their nights and weekends while still providing their students with engaging lessons. And we have helped literally tens of thousands of other middle school ELA teachers achieve amazing results. Did learning how to use a planning framework and create engaging and rigorous lessons take a massive team effort, tons of trial and error and years to figure out? Of course it did. But what I'm most excited about is that it doesn't have to take you years. It doesn't have to take you all of that painful trial and error that I went through when I was on my own as a teacher, because I would have given anything in the beginning of my teaching career for someone to actually give me the roadmap, to be my guide and say, you know what? Let's just skip all of the confusion. Let me show you exactly what you need to do. And that's what I'm saying to you right now is let's do this. Let the entire team here at EB, all of our team in the comment section, show you exactly what you need to do. So if you are ready, you are like done, capital D, done. You are ready to put a stop to endless lesson planning and overwhelm. And you are ready to reclaim your weeknights, your weekends, all while helping your students thrive and love learning, then I'd love to personally invite you to join me and thousands of other middle school ELA teachers inside of our EB Teachers ELA portal. Now, the EB Teachers ELA portal will, and I mean this, transform your entire teaching approach and life. And in fact, Carrie, who's in the comment section, was an EB teacher before she joined our team. Sarah, who's kind of been in and out of the comment section and helping some of you in email, she also was an EB teacher before joining our team. And in just a few years, our portal has been so incredibly rewarding. It's literally helped over 10,000 middle school ELA teachers reach amazing new heights. We have teachers in all 50 states, in 16 different countries, and our goal is to really help you truly thrive as a teacher. We like to consider the portal your one-stop shop. Like you don't have to go anywhere else. Like this is now your community, your family, your home base to revolutionize your teaching and engage and challenge your students through our very rigorous but also highly engaging ELA lessons so that you can streamline your planning process. And we want you to hit all of the standards and have fun at the same time. Like that's what it's about. Imagine if you walk into your classroom like excited and ready to be there because you guys are going to have fun and your students are going to love your class. That makes such a difference in your life as a teacher. So the membership, the portal, is an affordable and flexible, it's a pay-as-you-go monthly membership, and it's perfect for anyone who teaches ELA in grades 5 through 8. As I mentioned at the beginning, we're working on a 3rd and 4th grade curriculum, but that's not going to be ready until next year. So we like to call it an all-in-one lifesaver for middle school ELA teachers like you guys, I can see in the comment section, who want to feel more organized, who want to feel inspired, and who want to feel excited to teach. It really is a place of those ELA teachers that you just want to be around. You know, those teachers who love what they do, who are good at what they do, who want to enjoy the job, who are your marigolds, right? The ones that help you shine more. That's what our EB teacher community is. And that's what we want to be for you, is your support as we go through this journey together. So in just a little bit, I'm going to share with you what you get in the EB Teachers ELA portal as a member. I know you guys are all here to hopefully join, and I'll share the link to join with you. I'll share the link with you to join in just a moment if you feel that it's right for you. But either way, make sure that you stick around to the Q&A, which is going to start here in just a few minutes. That's when I'll give you information for your certificate of completion, as well as that batch planning kit that has all of those incredible resources that's going to help you implement everything that I've covered today. So I want to walk you through what you get when you join the portal. Well, the first thing is that you unlock instant access to over 75 fully developed reading and writing units. There's no waiting, there's no drip content, it's just in there and ready for you. And these are our signature EB units that really bring learning to life with topics that your students actually care about, right? We have escape rooms, art heists, real life mysteries, civil rights heroes, so much more. And all of these units are built around that into, through, and beyond lesson planning model. So you're not just covering standards, you are creating unforgettable learning experiences for your students. And here you can see a few of the units in action. Every single one is ready to use like the moment you join. And all of those are a $997 value. You also get immediate access to all of our current novel and short story units. We have classroom favorites like A Long Walk to Water, The Watsons Go to Birmingham, we have Diary of Anne Frank, Refugee, just to name a few. But what I love about this is every month we release a brand new unit, a brand new novel or a brand new short story, and it's based on our teachers' needs. So your curriculum keeps getting stronger without you having to even lift a finger. And some of our upcoming titles that we're working on include The Hatchet, The Crossover, Chasing Lincoln's Killer, and you get them automatically as soon as they drop. Like there's no extra cost, no extra work, and that is a $500 value. Now, I love this edition that's a part of the membership. We all know that grammar can be boring, type of 1, if you think grammar can be boring. But at EB, we do things a little bit differently, as you hopefully know by now. Our grammar lessons follow our EB grammar framework, and that includes direct instruction, but we also have all of these highly engaging hands-on games. So instead of students doing like practice worksheets, they're going to do games to practice what you've just taught them. And then we also have, and you can see one of those games on your screen right there, we also have application to writing checklists so that students actually use what they learn, right? We don't want them to just, learn it and then forget it and then never apply it to their writing. So our program makes grammar actually doable, it's effective, there are short lessons, there are spiraled lessons designed to reinforce skills. So whether you're focusing on sentence structure, or punctuation, or parts of speech, these are really easy to implement and stick with your students over time. So you have our full grammar program, 100% ready to go, no guesswork required, and that's a $297 value. Okay, one of the biggest game changers for our EB teachers is having a clear, thoughtful, instructional, or core text pathway. So when you join, if you choose to use it, you'll get our full year scope and sequence for 6th, 7th, and 8th grades that have our core text pathway. 5th grade has just a scope and sequence right now and has a core text pathway coming in the next year. And that includes a monthly planning calendar to guide what to teach and when. So in this case, this is your flexible roadmap, if you will. You can follow it as closely or as loosely as you want to. So it's support when you need it or freedom when you want it, right? But it's never something that you feel like you have to do. And that is a $97 value. Although I will say that took the team literally months to create. And our entire team was a part of creating those core text pathways. I cannot even tell you how much went into all of that. Just amazing work from our EB staff. And then all new EB teachers get access to our custom digital lesson planner. This is available right inside your portal. This isn't just a planner. What it does is it actually tracks the skills that you've planned for. So you can quickly spot gaps in your planning. You can adjust your plans and you can stay flexible to meet your students' needs. So this combined with our batch planning course, planning becomes easier, faster, and honestly, dare I even say, fun. You'll know exactly what you're teaching every single day. No more stress, no more guesswork. It links right to all of our resources. It's really a smarter, more effective planning routine that leads to stronger lessons and more engaged students. And I love this testimonial from Jill about her review of our new planner. She said it's an absolute game changer. Listen to what she wrote. She said, planning has always been super slow for me, but I planned the scope and sequence for the entire second semester in just about an hour. That's insane. And she said, and the best part is it's so easy to adapt as things change, as we know they always do. I love the color coding system for each part of my lessons, and especially the way we can add categories and choose our own colors in addition to the ability to change the order in which they are placed on the calendar. This software took us 18 months to develop, and I can't even tell you how much it costs. It's insane what we put into this, but we knew that if we could get this right for teachers, it was going to make your lives so much easier. And so you get that. That's a $197 value. And of course, you get our fabulous EB teacher community. So we have thousands of other middle school ELA teachers who are on the same journey as you. This is a positive place. So if you're a part of any other Facebook groups where people are negative or they judge you or they make you feel bad for asking a question, that does not fly in our community. That's a no from me, and that does not happen. So you can ask any questions that you want to ask. You can share ideas. You can get real-time feedback from people who truly get it. We also do fun contests. We have live Q&As. I pop in regularly. Our team is there to support you as you go. Like, you're not just alone in the membership. We actually have 2 community managers, Genevieve and Melinda, who are amazing and just such great resources for you inside of there. And that's $197 value. Okay, so our team is constantly working behind the scenes to create what you guys need most. And that means even after you join, your curriculum keeps going. So like I said, every month we release a brand new novel or short story unit. So your resources never get stale. And it's not just the resources that you're getting a system that works. So inside the portal, everything in there is built on the 3 pillars that I taught you today. You'll have the repeatable lesson planning framework. You'll have skills-based passages to check for understanding. You'll be able to reinforce learning through intentional spiral review, right? Our resources don't live in isolation. They all speak the same language, and they all work together to help you teach with confidence, to plan with clarity, and actually enjoy being in the classroom again. So this is the best. The bonuses are incredible. You also get full access to our brand newly revamped EB writing program. And this includes basically our bread and butter. Like, this is the thing that entire school districts come to us for. Our EBW approach inside of our EB writing program. It's our proven approach to teaching evidence-based writing that actually works, and it works across all writing styles. So I saw some of you mention like text evidence is what your students really struggle with. Oh my gosh, this is going to be the thing that is going to change the game for you. So our writing program really is like, I don't know, what we are known for outside of engaging lessons. So this updated program includes a brand new scope and sequence, detailed lesson plans, writing exemplars, scaffolded supports to help your students who are struggling, and we have every writing style. So literary analysis is our foundation, which is the EBW approach, but we also have argumentative writing, persuasive writing, all of the expository writing, and narrative writing. So it's everything that you need to teach writing with confidence. So if you're not a writing teacher, that's okay. You still get access to it. But if you are a writing teacher, holy cow, this is a game changer for you. And that's a $297 value. We're also giving you access to our full vocabulary program. So this is a flexible, skills-first approach. It focuses on word parts, academic vocabulary, real usage, not just memorization, to help you if you need a vocabulary program. We wanted to include that for you guys. So that's a $147 value. And you've heard me talk about this throughout our day together. Bonus number 3 is our batch planning course, and you can see it there on your screen. It is such an easy way to learn our repeatable system. You'll be able to sit down, you'll watch this course. It's an hour. The whole course takes you an hour to walk through. It is very digestible and watchable. It's not going to take you hours and hours to sit there and learn. So whether you're new to EB or you know a little bit about batch planning or you just need a refresh, this training is going to be so incredibly helpful for you so you can stop spinning your wheels and start planning with purpose. And that is a $97 value. Okay, and then I also want to talk to you guys about our fast action bonus. So if you join us while we are live today, right now, you'll get something that we've never offered before. And our fast action bonus is all about helping you teach smarter, not harder. You'll hear us say that over and over again. But our fast action bonus, I'm so excited, is you guys are going to get our full set of skills-based passages for both literature and informational text. So there are 52 skills-based passages. They are available for 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. And these are short, powerful texts paired with targeted questions that are aligned to key reading standards. So you can use these as warm-ups, as exit tickets, as mini assessments, or small group work, or how I taught you to teach them or how to utilize them in the workshop today. And you will know immediately what to teach or reinforce for your students. But we also wanted to make this even easier for you. So we also are giving you what we call our teacher skill videos. So these are short 3 to 10 minute videos that walk you through exactly how to teach each skill covered in the passages. So think of them as like bite-sized PD. They are quick, they're actionable, they're designed specifically to build your confidence in delivering targeted instruction. So whether it's point of view or text structure or citing evidence, these videos break it down so clearly for you so you can turn around and reteach that skill with clarity and ease. And also, we are giving you all of our student-facing videos for each of these skills. So these student-facing videos walk your learners through those key reading skills, like point of view or text structure, whatever it might be. And you can use these for independent stations, for absent students, or just giving you back a few precious minutes of your day. Like, just stream it live onto your smartboard and let your students watch it and take notes. But remember, this bonus is only available while we are live. Once this session ends, it's gone. So if you are on the fence, this is your sign to say yes and set yourself up for success this upcoming school year. It seems like a lot of you are really excited to join. So I'm going to give you the information here in just a second. So that is a $297 value. So everything that you get access to, right? Our reading and writing units. I saw some of you ask about our bell ringers. Yes, we are going to make sure that all of our bell ringers are available for you. I just had a conversation with the team about this earlier. All of our novel and short story units are included in there for you, as well as a monthly new release that comes out every single month. Our whole grammar program, our scope and sequence that we have for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, our custom digital planning software. It's so, like, once you start using that, I swear you're never going to want to go back. It is the best thing ever. Our EB teacher community, and then all of those amazing bonuses. So if you're a writing teacher, the EB writing program is going to change your life. I promise you, it is my favorite thing in the entire world. You also get our vocabulary program, that batch planning course, and then those fast action bonuses. I know it only says the student video library on the screen, but it's the teacher and student video library. So beyond the total value, right, of over $3,300 that you physically get access to this stuff, right? The physical access to content, that's great. But it's actually about you gaining so much more beyond just the things, because it's about what happens to you. It's about the transformation that you're going to be able to rest easy, knowing that your students are mastering the standards and having fun. And for you as the teacher, you're going to be able to go from frazzled and overwhelmed to feeling confident and excited to deliver amazing lessons every single day, feeling fully prepared no matter what. And I have one more surprise for those of you who are like really ready to go all in with us. If you join as an annual member this year, we've never offered this before. If you join as an annual member, you will receive our brand new physical EB teacher planner shipped to your door for free. It's a $62.99 value. It's something we've never offered before. We're doing free shipping to the US. If you're a non-US teacher, we'll send you the planner for free. We just need you to cover the shipping costs. What I love about the EB Teacher Planner is that it's designed, one, just for ELA teachers. It pairs exactly with our planning framework. It allows you to keep your lessons, your goals, and your mindset. Like, mindset's a big part of what we do here at EB, all in one place. So a lot of our members actually use both. They use both our digital planner and our physical planner to support them in the classroom. So when you join as an annual member today, you get that planner shipped right to your doorstep. Okay, so what is the investment? Well, we are so excited because we really did everything that we could to make this as affordable as possible for as many middle school ELA teachers as possible. So I want to talk about what I mean by affordable. And I know you have a question about the cost, right? You should. It's important for me to make sure that the EB Teachers ELA portal is affordable for as many teachers as possible. We want as many teachers to be able to feel the deep sense of community that hopefully you guys are seeing in the comment section from so many of our EB teachers who are here, right? It's community, it's support, it's belonging. It's not just about a curriculum. It's not just about resources. And so our goal was to make sure that it would cost less than a single cup of Starbucks coffee per day. That if we could do that, it would be affordable for almost everyone. And so that's what we did, right? Of course, the portal is nowhere near the investment of what, the total value of everything is. It's not even half that price. The cost of the EB Teachers ELA portal is just $37 a month. And that works out to about $1.25 a day. And you get everything that I just walked you through in the portal for that one price. And it's a pay-as-you-go monthly membership. Unless you choose to join as an annual member, then it's an annual membership. But it really is about how your life transforms as an EB teacher. So let's just say that you're no longer working 1 or 2 weekends per month anymore, which really is a pretty low bar to set considering most of our EB teachers are reporting that they don't even work on the weekends. They don't even think about school on the weekends. But let's say that you just do that. You get 1 weekend night or 1 weekend back a month or 2 weekends back a month. That alone, that time to spend with your family, your friends, your children, that is worth its weight in gold. Like, you cannot put a price on that. So I'm actually going to ask the team to drop a link into the chat section for you guys to go ahead and go join the membership. So if you are ready to join right now, you can click on that link and you will be taken to your personal invitation to join us. And remember, you get all of that content, everything on your screen, for less than a cup of coffee. In fact, my hot chocolate the other day cost me $5.50. I almost fell over. I was like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? My hot chocolate was $5.50. It's wild. But it's less than a cup of coffee to invest in yourself, in your happiness, in your time spent with loved ones, and in your students and your successes as a teacher. So when you do join us right now, please let us know in the comments so that we can welcome you and so that we can say hi. I'd like to just quickly point out that we do have a 48-hour money-back guarantee for the monthly membership. So we want you to feel good about joining the portal. Like, we don't want you to join and feel like this isn't the place that you belong. We want it to feel like it is the right fit for your needs, that you are happy to be a part of what we're doing. So if you join as a monthly member and you're like, you know what, it's just not right for me, you have a 48-hour refund of 100% of your investment price. All you have to do is send us an email. I do want to note that this does not apply to the annual membership. So if you're unsure, join as a monthly member, and then you can always email us to upgrade as an annual member. So again, if you've joined, let me know in the comments section so that I can welcome you into the portal. But hopefully you don't want to get a refund. Hopefully you stay with us and you love our content just as much as our current members do. I want to share just a couple of members' testimonials with you guys. This is from Beth. She said, "This group, your guidance, and your resources have really changed the way I teach and have given me so much more time to devote to myself and my family. It is the best money I have ever spent on teaching resources. The personal attention that you give the members is by far the best I have ever experienced. I thank you. It doesn't seem like enough." And another one of our members, Leslie, Leslie's become like a close friend of mine over the years. She's been with us for many, many years at this point. And she's shared with us, "I feel I finally have found a one-stop shop." Like, that's our goal. That will save you hours of your time. "I will seriously spend less money by joining this club and get far more resources and support in the long run." And that's what we want for you guys, right? All of our materials speak the same language. They all have the same methodology and approach and pedagogy and belief, and it's all intertwined into everything that we do. This Facebook message from Elsa, where she says, "You've been a breath of fresh air to my 16th year of teaching. It's like Christmas morning, the first of every month for me when we release a new resource. Best money I've ever spent for my classroom. Thank you for all that you do." So Elsa's an example of a teacher who's been in the classroom for a really long time and still had a ton of benefit in joining the portal. And then this one from Catherine, who's on the opposite end of the spectrum. She said, "I just want to let you know that your club, your membership, is life-giving for me. I've printed off most of my resources for the first quarter, and I shed tears this afternoon because I feel so much more prepared to give my students an incredible education, and I didn't have to kill myself to get it all done. I felt burnt out in my first year of teaching last year, and I'm so certain that this year will be different." And this email from Kelly saying, "I just want to thank you, Caitlin, Jessica, and our entire team at EB. Today, I was awarded Teacher of the Year by our middle school. I am completely humbled by this honor. I've been teaching for the last 17 years and have always worked hard to build relationships with my students, parents, and coworkers. In the last 3 years, EB has helped me climb out of my teaching comfort zone and challenged me to be a better teacher, helped bring back my love of learning new things, and opened my eyes to a whole new world of engagement." So these are all testimonials that speak into what EB has done to change someone's life and a teacher's life. But also, too, our teachers get really incredible test scores. This is from Amy getting her state test scores back, saying her 7th grade scores increased by 13%. This is another one of our teachers sharing that she abandoned her district's provided curriculum and went only with EB. She only supplemented a few of her own self-made favorites, and she was presented this award from the state of Mississippi for academic achievement for last year's test scores. So our test scores from our EB teachers and their students just really speak into what our curriculum can do for you in the classroom. So again, if you've joined, go ahead and share in the comment section like I joined, so I can welcome you. Sarah, I see you, and Alicia, and I'll come back and say a couple more. I just have a few more slides. So I just want to show you what will happen next. Once you click on that link, the staff has dropped it for you into the chat section. You can click on any of the big yellow like join now buttons, and it will take you to the part of the section that looks like this, where you can choose to join as a monthly member or a yearly member. You have a special coupon code to use at checkout, so don't forget to use that coupon code. And remember that if you join as an annual member, you'll receive our brand new physical EB Teacher Planner. It will ship right to your door for free. We've never offered that before, and I'm so excited. It's so freaking cute to get that into your guys' hands. And I welcome Candace and Nicole and Ginger and Marjorie and Sarah and Maddie and Alicia and Leslie. And I know you guys have some questions that I will answer here in just a second. I'm about to get to the Q&A. Holly, welcome, and Kathleen and Jessica Royce. Welcome, you guys. I'm so excited to have you. Leslie, another Nicole. One thing that I do want to point out, when you go to checkout, you're going to see an incredible offer at checkout. You do not have to take us up on this, but if you'd like to, this is the lowest price that you will ever see for this experience. So this is what some of you are asking about, our June 30th live event. Normally a ticket to our batch planning day on June 30th is $97. However, we are offering it to you for only $35 at checkout. There's a 60-day recording available, so if you can't make it live, that's totally fine, don't worry. But this is your chance to plan with us, to get live coaching. My staff is going to be there. You're going to get plugged directly into the EB framework. You'll be working side by side with fellow EB teachers. I do this whole section on rewiring your teacher brain, the teacher archetype shift. We do like all of this planning blocks, but also with the right mindset. It is going to be an incredible event. I think we have, I want to say like 1,200 or 1,300 of our teachers registered, and I'm so excited about this event. So if you want to come to this event too, make sure that you check that box at checkout, because that is a huge discount that isn't offered anywhere else. Now, again, I have one other thing that I want to share with you. You do not have to do this option. We also have a second level of our membership. The membership that you just got, if you joined, gives you everything that you need. However, if you would like to have just a next level of content and support with your membership, we also have what we call our Pro Tier add-on. So that includes everything that I've already talked about, plus nearly 300 additional bonus ELA resources. So these include like March Madness poetry or visual essays, our Shark Tank inspired project-based learning unit, Deserted Island justification practice activity. Literally all of the other resources that we've ever created are a part of the Pro Tier. The Pro Tier also includes quarterly teacher trainings with me. So these are live, engaging workshops that I offer quarterly, so like summer, fall, winter, spring, and they're timely topics for your classroom. So we might focus on writing paragraphs, or we might focus specifically on grammar, or we might do a specific test prep workshop together, etc. You'll also get first access to our EB Fluency program, which is coming soon. I don't have a final date for you yet, but that is on its way, and that is a part of our Pro Tier level of membership. And then we also have our EB Word Study program for 6th through 8th grade. So if word study is something that you're interested in and you have thought about incorporating into your curriculum, this is just the next level. You do not have to do this, but I'm just letting you know that it is something that is available. The word study program is a year-long program built around our framework. So it's divided into 10 different units that includes vocabulary words focused on specific word parts. So students work with roots and prefixes and suffixes to expand their vocabulary. So students learn how to use these word parts in context. They explore their origins and meanings, their parts of speech, and complete practice activities and assessments to reinforce their understanding. So each unit is designed to be completed like a little bit each day over the course of 2 weeks, but you can totally adjust it to meet the needs of your class and your schedule. So inside each unit, we have all of these things on the slide: vocabulary slides, gesture videos like you just saw on the screen before, the set of the specific word roots, prefixes, and suffixes, as well as practice activities and assessments. So we also include digital and editable versions of the word study unit, as well as guided notes, and student videos to introduce each unit for your students. So everything that you get as a pro tier member is our full EB portal access that we already talked about, the nearly 300 bonus additional ELA resources, quarterly trainings with me, our EB word study program that's available right now, as well as our EB fluency program that is coming next year. So the pro tier total value is $5,700, but obviously that's not what you pay. It's a super discounted price at checkout. If you're interested, again, you do not have to do it. I'm just sharing that with you if you're interested. I want to welcome just a few more of you before I go on. So Christina and Amber and Kara, 2 Ambers, second Amber, Jennifer and Crystal and Kaylee and Nicolette, Kelly, Ashley, Jill, Lewis, Jessica, Donna, Catherine, Jennifer, and Kelly. Welcome, you guys. I'm so excited to get to know all of you and to welcome you into the portal. Once your membership has been processed, you will be taken to our login page. So be sure to check your spam or your trash for your login details just in case, and you will be prompted to set up your profile. We have our whole membership dashboard. Please watch the Start Here videos and your quick win videos. The portal looks a little bit different right now because I added a couple of things last week to make the onboarding experience even better for you. I do want to say, and I had some questions come up in the comments, do you work with schools and you want to purchase this for all of your teachers? Absolutely. We would love to talk to your administrator. So if you want to buy a membership for yourself and then you bring it to your administrator and they're so on board and they're going to pay for your membership for you, we can help you do that. We can give you all of the tools and resources, whatever you need to go to talk to them. Because really at the end of the day, we want administrators and schools to be paying for this for their teachers, but we do understand that's not the case for everybody. So if you are interested in a schools partnership, you can email us at schools@ebacademics.com. But I do want to point out that we have different licensing options. So your personal license that you are purchasing right now, normally $57 a month or $597 a year, but you get that discount code. That's your license. It belongs to you. That's our essentials tier. With our school district licensing options, we have a kind of different offer. It's everything that I just talked about, plus the pro tier, plus our school's kind of partnership level where we have student logins, we have student online formative and summative assessments and benchmarks and all of that type of stuff. So a school's all access license is totally different than what I just walked you through. So you don't want to go to your administrator and be like, oh, it's only $37 a month. We don't do that with schools. We only allow schools to purchase the All Access Suite, which is just priced differently because it's a totally different level of support that we offer schools. So if that is something that you are interested in, go ahead and send us an email at schools@ebacademics.com. Okay, there are a couple more teachers that I want to welcome. I'm so excited for you guys. After you join, make sure that you request to join our EB teacher community and our Facebook group over there and introduce yourself. Melinda and Genevieve are community managers over there, and we just really want to make sure that you feel supported, you know where you're going, all of that stuff as a part of your membership. We really want you to feel good about becoming an EB teacher. Okay, I'm going to welcome Nicole and Bev and Corey and Heather and Amy and Jeff. Yay! I love when men join. Welcome, Jeff. Christy and Tanya, Ashley, Suzanne, another Tanya, Buhavna, Jennifer, and Ruth. Welcome, you guys. I'm so excited to get to know all of you. So I'm going to get to the Q&A here at the end. I have some very specific questions that are coming in and I'm going to answer them. I'm not leaving you guys hanging, but I do want to share for those of you who are maybe still listening and are on the fence and you're like, I don't know, do I really want to join this? Is this just going to be another thing? Well, first of all, it's not, because it's the best. And yes, I'm partial. I love our portal, and you can tell our EB teachers do too. But I did go into our community and I asked our teachers, I said, if someone's still deciding like whether or not they want to take the leap and join the portal, like what would you tell them? And we got some incredible responses. This is from Lindsay Joe. She said, if you're still on the fence, do it. This is my first year teaching 7th through 8th ELA. If this is your first year teaching ELA, definitely join. Like, hands down. It's a no-brainer. It's not even a question. We are going to help you be so successful this year. It's going to make your life so much easier. But Lindsay shared at the beginning of the school year, my 8th grade students were testing at 35% proficiency. Last week, they took the same test and tested at 80%. So that goes to speak into, obviously, how well the curriculum works. But she also shared that my students have loved all of the activities that we've done so far. That's the feedback that we get. Students are engaged, test scores increase, teachers are happy. It's like a win, win, win. It's the triple threat, which is almost actually what we named our book, The Triple Threat Teacher. Almost, but it became the Empowered ELA Teacher. Just a fun little side note. And at the end of the day, she said, you are investing in yourself as a professional and in your students' learning. And this is from Kate Wagner. She said, my students are learning and being challenged while having fun. They love the variety of activities and beautifully designed handouts. I love how easy everything is to implement. So this is important. Kate says, whether it's to be your sole curriculum, which I know might be for some of you, and for me, I see what are the indications for homeschool. We do have some homeschool teachers, and we do have some partnerships with charter schools who work with homeschool parents in the state of California that absolutely use our curriculum. So Kate says, whether it's to be your sole curriculum or to supplement what you're already doing, joining the membership is the choice to help you have a successful, less stressed year. I haven't regretted joining for even a second. And Kate has been a member since the very beginning. She was one of our first members. I think we had 42 teachers join us when we first opened our membership back in 2019, and she was one of them. And so many other responses from our teachers. And then there's this from Trisha. I read this every year, and I just love this email from her. She said, I just want to take a moment to express my gratitude for your kind and amazing heart and the many ways you have impacted my life for the better, though we have never met. I am also just so grateful for the EB Teachers Club, which is what it used to be called, and how it is changing my life in such a positive way. You ladies are so very gifted and a true answer to prayers. Thank you so much. I upgraded to the yearly membership and am planning on being a lifer in this club. Okay, we're going to start the live Q&A. So if you've stayed until this point, you are going to get the free batch planning kit sent to your email as well as the certificate of completion. In just a moment, I'm also going to give you the code word for our MacBook Air scavenger hunt giveaway. So if you have questions about joining the portal, now is the time to drop them into the comment section and I will answer them. So I've seen some of them, okay, perfect. Staff already put them into our Slack channel for me and I have those. So I do want to give you today's clue. So take out your Post-it note or whatever you're keeping your EB notes on for this whole experience. This is for our MacBook Air scavenger hunt giveaway. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, make sure that you go check in the Facebook group. And team, if you can also let me know in our Slack channel who the winner of our planner is, because I will announce that here in just a second. So the scavenger hunt question for the live workshop is, how many years of combined teaching experience does Team EB have? And the answer is over 100 years of combined teaching experience. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my face back on and answer some of your questions. And I know so for the skills-based passages, right, as long as we're still live. So if you're deciding and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to join, ask your question now so that I can answer it, because whoever joins live right now, I will be exporting a CSV file of everybody's name. I will be sending it to our developer, Evan, and Evan will be granting you access to those 52 skills-based passages, as well as the teacher videos and student videos, hopefully before the end of the day today. If not, within 24 hours, you will see them show up in there. It's manual intensive in the back end that Evan has to do it. I don't know those coding skills to be able to do that myself. Okay, so let me answer some questions. Team, if you can let me know who the winner is of our EB Teacher Planner. If you joined, write joined, and that counts as another comment to win. If you're already an EB teacher and you've been an EB teacher for 100 years, type in, I don't know, when you joined. Type in what year you joined as an EB teacher, like 2019. Are there any 2019 EB teachers here or 2020 EB teachers here? I would love to see that. Okay, so the staff is typing for me who our winner is going to be. Okay, so some of the biggest questions that are coming up. So this planner, just so you know, for annual members, this is just for this year. So in the past, we've done other promotions. This is only for this year if you join as an annual member, okay? Fourth grade, I would say fourth grade, I would wait, to be honest with you. I mean, maybe you can make some adaptations to our fifth grade curriculum, but right now it's really for fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth grade. We are coming out with a third and fourth grade curriculum. We're piloting it with a bunch of schools this upcoming school year, and it'll be ready for next summer. So just make sure that you're following us so that when it is available, you can jump on board. For the planner, how do I buy it if I do not join yearly? I guess we can put the link to buy the planner in the comment section. It's ebteacher.com/planner. So if you want to purchase it, you can. That's fine. We only have I don't know actually what our inventory is like. So if you are interested in grabbing this planner on your own, I would go purchase it ASAP. If you didn't join as an annual member, but you want to join as a monthly member and you want to grab the planner, go grab it right away because I don't know how much inventory we have left. I purchased already. How can I get the pro tier now? So if you purchased before you were able to upgrade to pro tier and you just kind of like skipped over that part, totally fine. Send us an email, hello@ebacademics.com, and we will give you a special backend link to get it the same deal, but you do it today so that you don't miss that opportunity. If we sign up monthly, do we have to stay for 12 months? No. So it's just a month to month. So every month you can make a decision, but we have a very low turnover rate. Anywhere from 97 to 98% of our teachers stay on a monthly basis. So like once you become a part of our world, it just becomes like a part of your world, to be honest with you. You start to get to a place where you can't imagine life without it. Like that's how I feel about my gym. How do we get the resources if we do not purchase today? Which resources? The free ones, they're going to be emailed to you. The batch planning kit's going to be sent to you in an email. If we join as monthly, is it less resources than yearly members get? No. The only difference is the essentials tier, which is what I talked to you all about, and then the pro tier upgrade. Schools is $9.97 per teacher per year. I saw this come up a few times. What if we have another curriculum that we use? So we do have some teachers who utilize our curriculum as a supplement to what they already have. So let's say that you are required to use another big box curriculum that you just don't really want to use. And we're not going to say anything negative, but we all understand what I'm saying. A lot of our teachers are in that camp and they do have to use what's required by their district. So what's great about our programs is that you can use it as a supplement for what is required of you. And what a lot of our teachers will do is, let's say that there's a specific short story inside of their big box curriculum that they have to teach, like Monsters Are Due on Maple Street, for example. Instead of using the unit that comes with the curriculum, they'll just supplement with our unit. Or let's say that this particular theme for this curriculum that you're required to use is, I don't know, let's say we're focusing on inferences and there's a specific lesson or unit that they have. They're like, I'm going to use the EB inferences unit or activity instead. Other questions? Okay, you want me to go over the pro tier? Okay, let me do that. Let me go back and share my slides. Okay, so the pro tier add-on. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that. So just to reiterate, the pro tier you do not need to do this, but if you want to, the pro tier is an upgraded price, but it has nearly 300 additional ELA resources. It also includes our quarterly teacher trainings. It also is going to include our EB Fluency program when this gets released. I don't have a due date on that yet, but in the next, I don't want to make my curriculum team upset with me. I would say around 6 months, maybe. And then our word study program. But word study right now is only for 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. Okay, so we don't have our 5th grade word study program yet. But that is all the stuff that's included in the pro tier membership. Oh, pro tier also gives you 10% discount on our planner, on our EB teacher planner. I forgot to put that. I should put that on those slides so you guys have that information. Okay. The word study, so the pro tier membership is not a month to month. It's an annual fee. Can we buy certain resources without joining the membership? No, at this time, it's only available in our membership. Do we have Title I teachers? Yes, we absolutely do. We have teachers from all walks of life, literally all types of schools all over the country, 50 different states, 16 different countries. We have teachers who are working in small private Catholic schools. We have teachers who are working in huge public school districts. In fact, we have partnerships with some huge public school districts. You name it, we're working with that type of teacher. So I don't want you to feel like, it's not going to help my situation. That's what we're here to do, is to help your situation. And so many of our staff come from all different types of school settings. So they all bring their own unique perspectives to what we're creating, which is really special. The bell ringers are included, yes. So all of our 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade bell ringers are included in the essentials tier membership. Does this work in special education settings? So we do have, what's the word I'm looking for? We have instructional supports included for, and team, tell me if I'm not correct on this, but for all of our resources that are suggested on our scope and sequences, and then some. I don't think they're on every single resource, but I think it's on the majority of them that we have supported versions of a lot of the texts as well as instructional supports. We also have audio recordings of the texts as well. And the other thing that I was going to say about that, our EB writing program is fantastic for special education setting. And in fact, our EB writing program includes like a scaffolded version of our foundational EBW approach that will work beautifully in a special education setting. What is the difference between vocab and word study? So vocab is like, think of like Sadly or Oxford, like it's set up like those vocabulary words. It has tests, it has check-ins, all of that type of stuff. Word study works so much more closely with word parts. So it's just a totally different type of approach to teaching vocabulary in your classroom. So it's whatever works for you guys. Anything else that I'm missing? Okay, I'm going to announce the winner of our planner. This was chosen by the staff. So drum roll, please. Erin Quave, Quave. You are the winner of our EB teacher planner. So congratulations, Erin. Send us an email at ebacademics.com, at hello@ebacademics.com, and we'll make sure that we get this to you. Congratulations. I'm very excited for you. If you are pro, you get 10% off of your planner. Where's that discount code? I think it comes tomorrow morning. So you'll get your welcome email today, and you'll have like your pro tier email come to you today. And then tomorrow morning, I believe you get your 10% discount code. I think it either comes today or tomorrow, but it's in an email, and I'll make sure that I figure that out and send you guys more information on that. The $37 per month is for the whole week. So registration closes on Friday at 9 California time. So if you're on the fence, you still have some time to decide, but the skills-based passages are only while we're live. So again, I'm going to export everybody who joined while we were live and send it to our developer, and he's going to grant you guys access to all of that skills-based passage content, hopefully tonight before he goes to sleep. Evan, bless Evan's heart, I must drive him absolutely crazy. If you joined as an annual member, you will hear from our staff. We are going to send you a Google form to fill out so that we get your correct shipping information so we can ship this to you. So our staff will reach out to you tomorrow morning for your free planner. Make sure you fill out that Google form with the correct shipping information so that we can get it to you. We didn't want to use the information that you use to sign up because a lot of the times your billing address is not the same as your shipping address. So we want to make sure that we get your correct shipping address. So lots of emails from us that you need to be on the lookout for. So open your emails from us. I know it's going to feel inundating for like a hot minute, and then it won't be like that. Okay. I am going to call it a day if we are good. Are we good, staff? Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Make sure you're still in the Facebook group. We have lots of fun stuff still happening in the Facebook group. If you didn't join today and you're unsure and you're like, I don't know, maybe I want to come join, but you want those fast action bonus, those skills-based passages, come to one of our live workshops again later this week. There's one tomorrow at 9, one Wednesday at 4, one Friday at 11. And if you join while we're live, you will get the skills-based passages. So if you're on the fence and you're like, I don't know, come to one of the other lives, join while we're live, and you will get that fast action bonus. All right. Thank you guys so much. Deb, I love it. Joined in 2020. You guys are the best. All right. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everyone.